Hi everyone, it's Lucy from My Crazy Craft Life, and I'm here today with the design team post for Scrapping for Less. Today I'm going to be making a card using the Sunny Studios Spring Scene set, Puppy Dog Kisses, and a little bit of paper from the Scrapping for Less Puppy Kisses and Hugs. And I'm going to start out by stamping the image. This time I decided I wanted to make a road in the front. Like I said, there's a lot of different options that you have with this. I haven't even used all of the pieces. I haven't used the mountains that were part of this. So there's just a lot of different options that you have with this set that you're able to do. And then I decided I am going to use my cloud stencil and do some Distress Oxide blending with the stencil. For the sky, I am using tumbled glass for the sky, and then for the road I am also going to do some Distress Oxide blending, and I'm going to use black soot and iced spruce. So those are the colors that I use for there. And then I just use Copic markers for the coloring of the bench, the tree, the grasses, and then I do use some Lucky Clover Distress Oxide ink I take the little grass stamps from the stamp set and I use that to give some texture and some dimension to the grass areas. I really liked how the street came out. I do think I would suggest stamping the separation for the street, the dotted lines, after you do your distress blending, just because it kind of mats it out a little bit, which actually that in itself doesn't look too bad either, because I guess it's more like a road. But I just really liked how the road came out. I think the colors were great for a road, and I think they did exactly what they were supposed to do, but I just really liked how that came out. So you saw there the colors that I used for the coloring. I didn't use a ton of colors in this, mostly greens. I wanted to do a couple different tones of greens for the grass and the tree, and then the bench I ended up doing in the reds, and then just the stone with the warm and cool grays, and then the light post I did with the cool grays. I don't know what I did with I think my C5 has to have a crack or something in it because it keeps drying out. I changed the tips. I did all sorts of stuff to this thing, and it's still, every time I open it up, it's dried out again. I've refilled it a bunch of times. Both sides are dried out. It's not just the brush side. So I don't know what the deal is. I don't know what the situation is or why this is drying out, but something is definitely not right with it. So I don't know. I have to get a new one. I actually just ordered a new one, but I wasn't real happy about having to order a new one. Like I said, I think there's just something wrong with the cap or something on this, because it's really making a mess and not working when I need it to work. So anyways, I'm sorry. I digress. But this is, like I said, where I colored the bench. And then I did something kind of fun. I used pattern paper and stamped the images of the dogs on the pattern paper and then fussy cut those out. And then that's what I used for the images instead of coloring the images. I really thought it would be cool to do a whole paper piecing scene, or not piece, yeah, paper piecing scene with all of the different areas, but I just did the dogs this time, and like I said, I really think they turned out cute. I did end up fussy cutting, and anybody who's ever heard me talk about I hate fussy cutting, but I did it because I think the scan and cut, it would have been hard for the scan and cut to pick up with the patterns in the pattern paper, would be able to pick up the differences and actually cut the images out. And then I just stamped a partial piece where the bow was for the one dog and cut a different piece of pattern paper for the bow. And that is it that I'm doing with the images pretty much, outside of just using a black gel pen at the very end for their eyes and their noses and their nose little area right there. So that is pretty much all I do with those. I do pop them up with some foam tape to give them some dimension. And like I said, there I am just cutting out that bow, and I'm just going to pop it right in there on her little, or on top of the other bow. So I think that gives it a cute thing. So the sentiment I just stamped out, it said birthday wishes and puppy dog kisses. And I like the versatility of this puppy stamp too, because you can do birthday, you can do get well, and you can just do get well with, or just well wishes. So I think that's kind of fun. I took a 3-inch piece of paper, white cardstock, and stamped the image on there, and then I cut it down to about a 1/2 an inch wide, and then I just popped it up with some foam tape and fishtailed the one end. And then I'm just going to end up, layering these up on top of each other. So I cut the piece of pattern paper for the back panel down to 5 3/8 inch by 4 1/8 inch. So it's a little bit bigger than your normal 1/4 of an inch that you do. And then the panel piece that I have the images on, I ended up cutting down to 3 1/4 inches by 5 1/4 inch, or 3 3/4 inches by 5 1/4 inches. So that's going to give it that little extra space. So that's it. That is it for this card. I hope you enjoyed it. Stick around and check out some of these other videos, and jump on over to Scrapping for Less so that you can grab your stamp sets for these. Thanks for joining me, and I hope everyone has a great day. Take care.